guys, and welcome to another, well, it's not a lesson, it's in fact a review. A lot of people ask me about the guitars that I play during a lot of the lessons that I teach online, and also when I'm playing live. They generally ask me, you know, what sort of guitars are you playing there and how do you get the sound that you get. So I thought it might be a good idea to do a little bit of a review, because there wasn't too much information video wise out there about some of the guitars that I play, and we're going to start off with my main axe, which is this one, which you might have seen in a couple of my music videos. It's an Ibanez Jem 7Vwh is the full thing, but it basically means it's the Ibanez Jem and it's in white. That's what the WH stands for. Now there's loads of models of these, and it can get a bit confusing because there's so many different colours, so many different combinations of hardware, and over the years they've slowly progressed and changed over time. This one here is a 2003, which has an ebony fingerboard, whereas now the modern ones have a rosewood. Other than that, it's pretty much only subtle changes. So I just wanted to talk to you about the main features of this guitar, what makes it a bit unique, and you know, just general things about it. So we'll start off at the top, work our way down, and hopefully you'll get a really good idea of what the Ibanez Jem is like, how it sounds, and you know, if you want to get one, I'll put a link in the description where you can find one at a decent price, hopefully. Because that is one thing about these guitars, is they are quite expensive, but they do give you value for money. Even though they are so expensive, they are pretty damn good guitars. So let's start at the top, at the headstock, and I'll talk you through it. So at the top of the guitar, it's pretty standard really from Ibanez. You've got an angled neck that points to the left, and an inline tuning set. So it's pretty simple. On the back you've got go to tuners, which are a geared sort of system. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've never actually heard it pronounced properly, so if you know how to pronounce it, that might be useful. It's G-O-T-O-H, so I say go to. Yeah, they're geared, and the really nice thing about these is they're completely sealed, and I've had this guitar nearly 8 years now, and I've never had a problem with the tuning. It's very subtle, very easy to adjust for very fine amounts, and it doesn't shift around like a lot of guitars on the headstock. With a lot of guitars you might find that when you're twisting them it suddenly jumps in pitch, whereas these are very, very minute and very, very accurate as well. You can see that we've got the locking tremolo system here, which starts at the nut here. These lock in the strings so that they stay in tune, theoretically. A lot of guitars have these, and I've played a lot of Ibanez RGs and similar makes and models, but they can be a little bit unreliable. On this guitar, however, they have done exceptionally well with the tremolo system, because you can be pretty abusive with it and it still stay in tune. We'll talk about the tremolo system when I get down to the bottom. Next thing, after the nut, obviously, you've got the neck. Now this is an ebony neck, which is a bit different to the current models and even the ones before it. I think they only made it for a few years. It has a slightly darker grain to it, but it's just a look thing. I've played rosewood and ebony fingerboards, and they don't feel too different, to be honest. You've got the mother of pearl inlay here. Now I would have loved to have had the full mother of pearl all the way across, but on this model they were trying to cut costs, I think, so they made certain frets just a white plastic, and then the mother of pearl are the smaller leaves rather than the entire fretboard. But it's just a style thing, again, doesn't really make any difference to the playability. The neck though, however, the thinness of the neck is extremely thin for most guitars. If you've ever played a wizard neck, it's like a neck that Ibanez produced. The wizard neck is quite a thin one. It's about the same sort of size as the Wizard 2 neck. A thin neck generally allows you to play smoother and more flowing lines, because you don't have to have your thumb really far away from your fingers. It gives you a little bit more control to have a thin neck, but usually the problem is they're going to bow because they don't have as much wood there to support all this tension from the strings. So they've managed to get the right combination of woods here so that it stays solid. Now, like I said, I've had this guitar 8 years. To be honest, I've treated it like a bit of a workhorse guitar. Never really given too much love and care to it. I've just played the thing. 8 years down the line and it's still an amazing guitar to play from the fretboard point of view. I've never ever had a problem with necks bowing, and I've taken it to extremes of weather, you know. So really good quality woods used on the neck. Interesting thing about the neck on the Jem 7 is the scalloped fretboard from the 21st to the 24th fret. Now a lot of people say, well, what's the point of that? It's just a pointless feature. It actually is quite useful. Now a scalloped neck gives you a lot of sustain. You'll see guitarists like Malmsteen who have the whole guitar neck. When you're fretting a note, because you're not actually on the fretboard, you're actually hovering in the space where the scallop is, you can do a lot of vibrato, you can slide, you can play the note cleaner with less pressure. On most guitars though, you don't really need that sort of level of playing, and if you push too hard you can bend the note because you're pushing into the scallop. On the higher frets however, on most guitars, when you pluck a note and you play it, you lose a lot of that sustain. They've had a really good idea here by having it from the 21st to the 24th fret, because it allows you, when you're playing on the higher frets where typically you have less sustain and you don't need to push down quite so hard, you're not really playing chords at this level, you get much more sustain from the scalloped frets, and it's a lot easier to fret. So I think a great idea on the neck and a little feature of this guitar. You move down to the body, you got the standard, you know, pick guard and volume and tone sort of adjusters there. You got a 5-way pickup selector, so you got 5 different combinations of sound. And this is one of the great things that I love about the guitar as a session player, is I can play in very different styles with a slight tweak of the pickup can make a big difference to the overall sound on this guitar. So you can have a lot of flexibility when you're playing live. Most people see the sort of angled super strat look with the Ibanez, you know, pointed headstock, and they think, oh, you can only play rock with that. Now it's true that the bridge pickup has a very treble sound to it for lead playing, but the other side of the coin, you can get a lot of bass response and a lot of mids from the other side. If I flick it up to the bass pickup here, you'll be able to hear a lot of bass response and a lot of like sort of girth. If I do the same sort of riff, you can get a lot of treble from the same sort of pickup. Bit in the middle, you can go for sort of the other great thing I really like about this guitar is on the volume control. It has a very good resistor in it, so that you can get a lot more flexibility from the pickups. You notice if I roll off the volume a lot, now I'm on a very distorted channel here that's meant for lead playing, but I can clean it right up a lot more than most guitars can. And the actual channel should sound like with a lot of distortion. And I find that when I play a lot of other guitars, they don't have quite as much control on this volume, so you can't get the sort of tone flexibility that you can get from the Ibanez Jem. Like I say, you've got a lot of bass or a lot of treble. Don't know how well that will come out on the microphone there, but you do have a massive flexibility with the pickups, and it's one of the best things that I find about this guitar, other than the incredible playability of the neck. Tremolo system, now I mentioned how much better it is compared to most other tremolo Floyd Rose sort of guitars. You can be quite abusive and it still stay perfectly in tune for pretty much a whole gig. Now if you're extremely, you know, over the top with your dive bombs and your squeals and all that sort of thing, then you might need to swap guitars halfway through a gig. But I've done some pretty crazy things with this thing and managed to get through a whole set, an hour set, without too many problems. And that's quite a thing to say about a guitar, because I've never encountered another guitar that can actually handle that, unless it's been set up by a professional, which obviously we're not all professionals, we can't all have our own guitar tech. So the Tremolo system is a standard Floyd Rose. They came up with a load of different tremolo systems and bridges, but basically all the ones that I've tried on the Ibanez Jem have been exceptionally good. And like I say, this is a 2003, so you're talking quite a few years old, and the tremolo system is still working fine, and I've never even had it set up, which is a fantastic testament to the build quality of this. You've got the monkey grip. A lot of people take the mick out of the monkey grip. They think, well, why have you got, what's the point of that? It's just a gimmick. True, it is pretty much a gimmick, that, but I do actually use it a lot of the time. When I'm carrying the guitar around, I'll carry it from here, and you get a lot of grip, rather than having it around your neck, where it can sort of flap around and hit into walls and things. If you're holding it like this, it's a bit like holding a briefcase. You've got a lot of control, it's very easy to move around, and it is actually quite useful. Until you've actually used one of these, you know, on the road sort of thing, you won't realise just how useful that monkey grip can actually be. I personally find it very useful, and I do actually use it. And that's basically all I wanted to talk to you about. You've got, you know, little features here like the jack points in that direction, so that if someone yanks it or you pull it, it's not going to pull out of the guitar or break the you know, the inside connectors there, which is what happens on a lot of Strat guitars. You've got obviously the massive cutaways, loads and loads of features that aid in the playability and the functionality of the guitar. Like I say, the price tag, you're looking at the top end in terms of non-collectible guitars. As a standard stock model, it's right up there with the PRS and you know, the collector's edition signature series of a lot of you know, Fender Strats and things like that. But I believe it is worth absolutely every penny if you can afford it. If you're looking for great playability, flexible sounds, easy access to the entire frets, a lot of modern features such as the tremolo systems, and you don't mind the you know, the tuning problems that you can get, then this is the guitar for you. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I thought I'd sort of give it a go as a review and see what you guys think. Do post your comments on the you know, the usual place, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. You'll find loads of great free lessons, and hopefully maybe I'll do a few more reviews if I get a bit more gear in. I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to guitars. I try and only keep a couple of guitars that I use all the time rather than having a massive collection. So I can't really do too many reviews at the moment, unless there's some endorsees out there who'd like me to review some of their products, and I'll be happy to do that. So until next time, guys, I'll probably see you over a lesson, or I'll see you over on rexpearson.com, and I hope you enjoyed this review of the fantastic Ibanez Jem 7Vwh.